guys, my name is Aaron Chalner, here for the sports you love, and welcome to another edition of NBA Off the Rim. Now today's episode resides in New York Knicks. Now the reason for this is because today we're going to be talking about a former Knicks player that could potentially return to the Knicks. Now this is of course Carmelo Anthony, and we've got a story here, a report online that Carmelo Anthony could go back to the New York Knicks. Now of course he has been on a sort of non-contract basis or a non-guaranteeable contract basis with the Portland Trail Blazers until the end of the previous season. And of course his form going into the Trail Blazers helped them clinch a playoff spot. Now, of course, they eventually lost to the champions, the LA Lakers. However, Anthony has really revitalised his career at the Trailblazers. There's a report of interest from the Knicks. Now, we're going to check out all of the specific stats and information from this. I'm going to check out my thoughts on the situation as well. And do I think it's actually going to happen? So before we get started, make sure you like, comment, subscribe, click the notification bell so you never miss another YouTube video on all of these topics. And for now, we're going to get started and have a look at the facts and stats behind this report about Carmelo Anthony potentially returning to the place where he played basketball for 6 years. So for those of you who need a little bit of information, Anthony signed on a non-guaranteed contract with the Portland Trail Blazers. Now he started and played 58 games throughout the regular season for the Blazers on 32 minutes a game, which is a stark contrast to his 2 starts in 10 games when he was playing for the Houston Rockets. Now he averaged a solid 15 points per game throughout the regular season, and like I said before, he helped the Blazers clinch the 8th seed in the Western Conference, and in the playoffs the Blazers were defeated by the eventual champions Los Angeles Lakers. Now rumours emerged recently that the New York Knicks wanted to bring Anthony back along with Chris Paul. Now while Paul is possibly unattainable, the Knicks still want Carmelo Anthony. Now the Knicks still plan to pursue the former star Carmelo Anthony, even if they can't pull off a trade for his buddy Chris Paul. Now the Post reports that Anthony will be eager to join the Knicks if they land Paul. Now that was quoted from Mark Berman of the New York Post. Now Chris Paul has interest from the champions LA Lakers, so it will be far from complete, this rumoured story. However, if the Lakers do not get Chris Paul, then maybe Paul and Anthony could be the big Knicks trade and signing from the free agency if Carmelo Anthony is still a free agent by the time the Lakers finish their interest in Chris Paul, and it will be a very nice pair of signings for the Knicks. So that was the big story, that's the facts and stats behind it. Now, my thoughts on the whole situation. The New York Knicks, I'm not going to lie to you guys, I think over the last few years, and I think a lot of die-hard basketball fans will recognise this, the New York Knicks over a long period of time now, a long period of time, have not been competing at all for the NBA title. They have not been competing. They need to find something from somewhere that's going to get them back in the hunt to compete for an NBA championship. Bringing back Carmelo Anthony, some may say it's a step back, some people will say maybe we need to bring in the veteranism from the past to take us forward. And I think with the addition of Chris Paul potentially as well, that will give them another exciting player for the future. Now, Chris Paul, he's a veteran as well, so I think a good few years out of him and Carmelo Anthony could be the way forward for the Knicks. Chris Paul still has an exciting future, even if he is a veteran NBA player. And, I think the Knicks definitely do need to keep that going and keep the momentum going, try and compete for an NBA title. The draft is obviously vitally important for the Knicks, and they need to get something from the draft if they are going to get something from the draft. And it's going to be interesting to see how the Knicks progress going into next season. Now, of course, these reports coming out may be true, maybe untrue, but it will be interesting to spot about Carmelo Anthony, because I think Carmelo Anthony, in my opinion, will be one of the ones to watch in the free agency. I think that, his non-guaranteed contract with the Trailblazers and his form going into that, maybe that pursues interest from the Trailblazers to get Carmelo Anthony on an actual contract now. So again, that's another factor in the move. We don't know for sure yet, but that could be another factor. And it's going to be a very interesting watch, because I would like to see if Carmelo Anthony and Chris Paul both go to the Knicks and they stave off the Lakers' interest and possibly the Trailblazers' interest in each player respectively. I'd like to see Anthony and Paul play for the Knicks. Carmelo return, to continue his 6-year tenure with the Knicks and continue it forward and, you know, put more years on his Knicks career. And I'd like to see Chris Paul come into the side as well, because I'd like to see Chris Paul do what he does on the court and bring the Knicks some glory. So I think the New York Knicks definitely do need to find a way of bringing them both in and stave off any interest, because I think if you bring both them in, the veteranism in the NBA and the NBA experience and the veteranism of both those players will bring the Knicks closer and closer to the NBA championship. I can guarantee you that. So there we go. So that's speaking a little bit about Carmelo Anthony and Chris Paul. Thank you very, very much for watching this edition of NBA Off the Rim, residing from the New York Knicks. I'm Aaron Chalner, here for the sports you love. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, and for now, that's full time.